It is another volatile week for both investors and consumers with the back and forth of this war, the highs and lows of tech stocks, and the ups and downs, of course, of oil prices. The Dow rallied after a nearly 600-point drop yesterday to finish in positive territory today, up about 139 points there. The Nasdaq and S&P also finished up. So let's take a look at our interactive stock market heat map brought to you by FinViz, showing the top 500 stocks, showing a lot of green on the board today. Chip makers rebounded from a sharp sell-off earlier in the week, and oil prices dipped today after surging over war concerns yesterday. Let's bring in CBS News Money Watch correspondent Kelly O'Grady to help us sort all of this out. We saw this at the start of the war with Iran, Kelly. One day the markets were down, the next day they were way up. Can you explain why this happens? Is it tied to gas prices?
So there's a couple of different things here that are going on with the market. So one is the AI trade that we've talked about before. You mentioned the chip makers were down earlier in the week. I mean, part of that is due to the uncertainty with the war, but part of that is a bigger question around demand for chips as this AI race develops and investors try to figure out who's going to win, how much appetite is there going to be for this. So that's one part of it. Another part of it is this question of, are we going to get into a large scale conflict again? You know, right now it's teetering. It's, well, are we going to come back to the table? You know, we're trading strikes back and forth, and whether we were talking about tariffs or we were talking about war, we would constantly say, Liz, right? Investors hate uncertainty, and that's where you see some of this back and forth. And by the way, when certain stocks lose a bunch because there's a big sell-off, then you sometimes see a swing back the other way because investors who are looking past all of this uncertainty say, hey, well, this is a pretty good buying opportunity because that stock that I'm really interested in, or this sector, is priced lower than it was before. And then the oil prices of it all, you kind of see a opposite effect. When oil prices go up, the market tends to go down, and then oil prices came down today because there's the hope that maybe there could be negotiations, and the market rebounded. Broadly, it is tied to gas prices because if you think that gas prices are going to tick up because oil prices tick up, then you're worried about an inflation problem. And so, you know, those are sort of all of the different components. It is never one specific thing that is driving the market, but that broader sell-off yesterday and the rebound today is driven by this question of war, of oil, and then ultimately gas prices. Yeah.